Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Adventures of one obsessed nutrition coach on a mission to create a world where food makes us better. Today is Wednesday, guys, and we are not talking about weight loss because weight loss is kind of secondary to our lives right now. We gotta survive, we gotta fortify our immune system, our health with the foods we are eating, so we stay strong, healthy, ready to meet whatever is coming. Guys, over the past couple of days, I've been on Twitter for some time, and sometimes I come across things like, if there was an immune boosting diet, then I would be on it. There is no such thing, and all these, nutritionists and dietitians who say otherwise just don't know what they're talking about. Nothing will help us with this new virus or whatever is coming. And you might also come across a lot of these things, especially from people in medical profession, because a lot of those people don't understand actually how the body functions, and they didn't get any nutrition courses. They learned, I'm not saying they're not educated, not at all. They know a lot how to fix our bodies, but they don't know how to keep that system in balance, running and performing its functions at its best. Somehow, in our medical education institutions, they lost that idea that body actually does the most maintenance and repair itself. And sometimes, yes, medications help a lot to fight some infections, some viruses, but our best defense is actually our immune system. The rest is secondary to it. And if our immune system doesn't function properly in the first place, it's really hard to fix anything with medication. And I always like to ask those people when I get a chance, like, okay, so you don't believe that food can boost your immune system. So is what you're saying is person with a diet of Twinkies or, some crappy diet, and a person who eats organ meats and seafood and a lot of vegetables, do you think like these diets are equal when it comes to health outcomes? Is it really what you're saying? So you are saying that the diet doesn't matter at all, and our body kind of exists in a vacuum. And when I ask that question, most of the people, they either stop talking and start thinking, or they start thinking and talking in a little bit different way, because it is silly to think that our body just independent of the building blocks that we provide it with, and our immune system including. And I want to read you something from one of the best nutritional blogs on the internet when it comes to quality. So the name of the blog, Why We Need to Eat Well During a Pandemic. And coronavirus, guys, it is a pandemic, basically meaning that it spreads faster than expected, and it has more influence on our society and our well-being than expected, and it's hard to manage. There is no real definition of pandemic. So the blog is about immune system and how certain foods are beneficial and needed to help our system to function properly. So one of the extracts from the blog: viruses constantly mutate inside us to escape our immune system. Recognizing them and destroying them, our immune system has to keep up with this while constantly double-checking itself to make sure its response is neither too weak that doesn't kill the virus or too strong that can kill us. The phenomenally sophisticated but knife-edge activity, basically it means that our immune system is really, really sophisticated. It has to distinguish between possible danger in our food, for example, or in anything in our environment, between those things and completely benign things that don't cause any problem. And our world is full of different bacteria. Some of them cause problems to us, some of them don't. And at the same time, our body is a collection of different systems working together to maintain our life. And so immune system, if it's overreactive, it can actually damage us, damage ourselves. And so for it to function properly, it needs certain building blocks, and the more of those in balance we provide, the better it functions. So this phenomenally sophisticated machine uses huge resources, the most critical of which are specific vitamins and minerals that we already are talking about for a while on this podcast. And these are copper, folate, iron, selenium, vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. And any deficiency in this will reduce our immune system's potency. So basically, the less of this you have in your body, and most of the people, according to data that we have, are deficient in those because our food supply is deficient in those, or organized in the way that people think that eating a lot of different products or quote unquote healthy and organic will cover all these nutrients. But these nutrients are not that easy to come in a lot of foods, especially plant-based foods. Like, you'll be lucky if you're vegan without supplementing that you ever get enough of those nutrients. You'll be super lucky. You'll be probably in a magical land, because I've never seen one single vegan who, without supplementation, can eat all of these nutrients from foods on a regular basis without having to eat like tons and tons of calories and eating the whole day basically. So again, these nutrients, copper, folate, iron, selenium, vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, a lot of them are in animal foods, and especially in seafood, and some vegetables, mostly green and colorful, mostly things like spinach, mostly things like sweet potato or broccoli or Brussels sprouts, those things that not a lot of people are eating these days. It's not enough to eat some kale chips once in a while. Doesn't cover anything really. And once again, I want you to understand that the more you invest in terms of food into your immune system, whatever comes around, it's gonna hit you much, much less. You might not even notice that it hit you. You might sneeze a little bit more and have a stuffy nose, whereas somebody can be killed by that. And that all depends on how well your immune system functions among all other things. And first and foremost, what you can do as an individual is eat those foods and provide it to your family if you are taking nutrition of a whole household. And guys, if at any point you need help with creating, simple meal plan that you can implement yourself and with your family, maybe with your spouse, with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend, feel free to reach out, and we'll see how we can organize your menu in a simple way. So especially during these times, you support your immune system to the fullest. And so the foods now, to the level of foods from the level of nutrients, because nobody is eating nutrients, we eat foods. Besides steak, as a precaution, I would definitely take a multivitamin. I would definitely, and I am taking a little bit of more zinc balanced with copper. Supplementation is also a science. Not all supplements work, and not, in every way. But foods, when it comes to supplements, we still don't know, especially about individual companies, like how well those supplements work in a body in isolation. But we do know that real food works. Like, we do know that. That's how we evolved, eating real foods, and that's what our body knows how to metabolize, how to use. And so now for those nutrients, what are the foods that are rich in them, and eating more of them will most likely cover you. Don't try to count anything, but just on a weekly basis, include those foods regularly. So those foods are liver. On my Instagram yesterday, I made a video how to simply cook your liver, and then you can freeze and eat a little bit, a couple of ounces, an ounce of liver a day, depending on what kind of liver. It will cover a lot of your nutritional requirements, for example, for folate, or for, let me, for example, like lamb liver, and we are looking at 150-gram portion or 5 ounces. So when it comes to iron, it's 60%, zinc 48%, phosphorus 76, selenium 77, copper 1000%, vitamin A 2000%, B12 1600. So just eating a little, you'll be getting, a lot of those nutrients, and then you can pair it with other organ meats, like for example, chicken or beef hearts, that are rich in also in those nutrients, a little bit less than liver. So it has phosphorus, copper, iron, zinc, B12, some B6. So organ meats, a whole group, but especially liver is rich in iron, in copper, in selenium, and there is some zinc, there is quite a lot of iron. Seafood, as we talked about before, so crab meat, for example, is rich in zinc, in copper, in selenium. Oysters, super rich in zinc. One oyster is all the zinc you need, and then you eat a little bit of dark chocolate, like 1 ounce for your copper, and this is super immune boosting mini meal. You don't even have to eat a lot. One oyster, 30 grams of dark chocolate, 90% and more, and you got your daily requirement for copper and zinc. Crab, eat a crab meal once in a while, like 10 ounces, and you're gonna get all the zinc, copper, and selenium you need. Don't forget about beef, guys. It's high in zinc, so an average portion, well, depending for whom, right? But let me actually bring it up. So beef. It is high in zinc, but I like to see some numbers, and I'd like to share them with you. So beef, let's take beef fillet steak lean. So this is lean cut of beef, and let's say it's somewhere around 8 ounces of that, and that will give you 49% of your zinc, 26% of your iron, magnesium. Seeds, nuts and seeds are also high in minerals, besides all the seafood. Shrimp, by the way, for example, rich in copper. We talked about oysters. Muscle meat is high in all of these minerals. For folate, liver is your best source, 1 ounce of it. Also vitamin A, liver has a lot of it. Fatty fish like herring is super rich in vitamin D. 4 ounces will give you 140% of your vitamin D. So vitamin C, bell pepper. So again, zinc, you can combine beef, you can combine some shrimp, you can combine crab. Crab is super high. 1 oyster will give you all the zinc you need. 30 grams of dark chocolate, 90% and more, will give you all the copper. Vitamin A, liver. Iron, we can find iron in seafood, in beef. We can find iron in dark chocolate, also in spinach. Also there is vitamin A in spinach too. Vitamin C, bell pepper, half of bell pepper is 150% of your vitamin C. So selenium, if you're eating all this food already and adding some seeds on top, like especially sunflower seeds, especially pumpkin seeds, you're going to be getting all this selenium that you need. So we covered B6. Again, if you are eating seafood, if you're eating your oysters, your beef, your crab meat, you're going to be getting your vitamin B6 too. Now, looking at my blog, let's talk specifically about zinc and copper. If you're looking to get your zinc and copper from plant foods more, then palm hearts, for example, really high in that 150 grams of palm hearts, and they're really low in calories, carbs, or anything else, they will have 75% of your copper and 45% of your zinc. Shiitake mushrooms, 1 ounce will give you 120% of your copper and 19% of your zinc. So shiitake mushrooms, really amazing food. Ham hearts, 37% of copper, 24% of zinc. Some other seeds that are rich in copper and zinc: pumpkin, sunflower, cashew nuts, dry roasted, Brazil nuts. So all of these foods, they have some of them. But what doesn't have all of these, guys, is things like whole grains. Rice, for example, can lead to zinc deficiency. And especially processed grains, flours, like all kinds of junk and comfort foods, they're not rich in anything. What else? You can be eating oranges all day, or apples all day, or go vegan, and you will not be getting any zinc or copper if you do not specifically design your menu to be getting all of those. And some, like vitamin A, is really, really hard to, or vitamin D is almost impossible. I don't think it's even possible to get from plant foods only. So again, let's not forget that our system needs building blocks to work properly and to defend us from whatever is coming around. And those building blocks on nutrition level: copper, iron, selenium, zinc, folate, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B6. And where are we getting them? We're getting them from seafood, especially oysters, crab, mussel meat, shrimp. We are getting zinc from beef. We are getting a lot of vitamins, especially vitamin A, especially iron, especially folate. We are getting from our liver, but liver is also rich in copper. Especially, it has quite a lot of zinc and selenium and even phosphorus and iron. So eat your liver, eat your organ meats, eat your seafood, eat your bell peppers, eat other vegetables like spinach and other dark leafy greens. Saute them; they better absorb that way and have less anti-nutrients. Your Brussels sprouts, your broccoli, nuts and seeds, especially sunflower, pumpkin, hemp seeds. Those are super rich in nutrients. Shiitake mushrooms for copper and zinc. Palm hearts for copper and zinc, super high in them. So, I would really recommend to look into shiitake and palm hearts from plant-based sources for copper and zinc. They are the richest with minimum amount of calories. And of course, dark chocolate, high in iron, high in copper, especially, and iron is toxic to a lot of viruses. Probably it also is toxic to coronavirus. Eat those foods, guys, and you might still catch something, but you might not even notice that. And that's the point. And don't believe anyone who says that food doesn't matter, because how can what we are made of not matter? Like, literally, we are made of that. And our system, just like any machine, requires certain things to function. And certain things that come from food that work for our body. And again, if somebody says that it's not the case, they're just delusional. They never studied any science related to how our body functions. So guys, eat your whole foods, support your immune system, and that's the best way to protect yourself, your loved ones, and to stay healthy and strong for whatever is coming through all these challenging times that might be ahead of us, helping yourself, your loved ones, and the world. So eat all these foods and stay tuned. Connect to my Instagram account, because these days I'm going to be doing more cooking videos showing you easy ways to cook all these foods that we are talking about. And guys, share this episode with anyone who you think would like to learn more about nutrition and how they can support their health and energy levels through food. Share this episode. Let's share health. Let's empower each other. And as usual, guys, till next time, eat better daily.